This week on Invasion of the Podcast, Marvel gives us 3 times the teasers.
We invite local comic book artist Steve L. King to talk about Batman vs. Superman with us.
And we finish our super-powered bracket of awesome.
We bring you this special radio television broadcast in order to give you the very latest information on an amazing phenomenon. The arrival of a spaceship. Just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I think something is happening.
Flying saucers have invaded our planet.
People of Earth, attention.
It's the invasion of the podcast.
The whole world is under attack. Can it survive?
And welcome to Invasion of the Podcast. I am Joe. Kim Basinger keeps screaming in my ear, Peters. And all the way over to my right is Paul, Terry Hatcher's secret crush, Stedman.
Aw. I like that.
I was trying to think of just a weird Superman Batman reference. And then we are joined today by a local comic book artist, Steve L. King.
Steve L., local comic book artist King.
That's what the L stands for.
like Jor-El or Ka-El.
Yeah, it's not an L, it's E-L.
Yeah.
E-L King.
Yeah. But Joe, good intro. We are taking over the world one listener at a time.
Oh, did I forget that?
So I'll give you a B+ on
my
the intro.
Tag.
So
this is my second tag.
Yeah, that's your second tag. And
right.
The thing is, our front tag is amazing. Our ending the show tag is terrible. So
yeah, we're gonna work on that.
Yeah, because saying to people we're going to get you is not really a good way to get the listeners back. So, but yeah, thank you, Steve, for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're going to talk about his project, Saturday Night Slasher, which is cool. And we're going to talk about some Batman, Superman stuff. We got a lot of things to talk about. We got our bracket. So for those that listened last time, thank you for putting up with our initial bracketology of, I think it was 300 fights that we did.
It was a lot of fights.
It was a lot of fights.
And in theory, I think there are some fights. I think we did it on a voting system, and it was a little bit of a biased voting system, just on who you liked. Because there are a few people I know that were in a fight where it was like, there's no way this person would kind of take this person out. But
yeah,
who cares?
I mean, well, then you can make your own bracket.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, DraftKings isn't really following this, so we don't care.
Yeah, I'd like that. It's just like, what's the over-under on a Howard the Duck? Well, I guess we'll just check online.
Yeah.
So I just want to mention just briefly, so this weekend was so much, like, I had so much dude-on-dude action this weekend, and that's the truth. So Friday, I went to AIW, Always Intense, or Absolutely Intense Wrestling, not always intense. It was at Our Lady of Mount Carmel, which is like just 2 streets away from where we record from. Because our friend Kevin of Radio Violenta, big time in the wrestling, he was going. I had some other friends going. Turns out, like, I had 3 separate groups of people that I know from parts of my life all at this one event. So it was like this weird, like, homecoming. It was like, welcome, Paul. You didn't even know that you belonged here, type of thing. But that was the most fun I've had in a long time watching live wrestling. And just, it was great because, like, I saw things there that you don't see on WWE. Like, there was men versus women. It was just this whole crazy, like, it was a lot of fun.
Did you have a sign? Did you make a sign?
I didn't make a sign, but I did start some chants to go on.
That's one of the best things about the chants.
I like the idea that I could sit there and just yell whatever I want and no one cares.
Have you gone to a live event, Steve?
I have not, at least not for wrestling.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I'm gonna go again.
The chants are what, like, and the thing about the chants is when you're watching pay-per-views and stuff, and you hear the chants, and like the real good ones come through.
Yeah,
because there's so many people doing it, and you were like, "What are they saying?" And then you hear it, you're like, "Oh my goodness, wow!"
Yeah, there was one match in the middle where. The whole gimmick was these 2 guys were wrestling. One of them brought out baby powder, supposedly blinded each other. So they're just taking swings at nothing. And supposedly one of them finds another body. It's the ref. So he takes a swing at the ref. So the ref throat slams him like on the mat, and everybody starts just chanting Undertaker over and over again. So it was just a lot of fun. It was like a 4.5 hour show for like $20.
That's a good deal.
Oh wow!
And some of the talent was really good. It wasn't just like, oh, people in your backyard wrestling. Like, there were some legit people there. So it was a good time. And I just can't tell you, like, how tickled I was just going and watching wrestling. And then, so after that, I ended up watching Daredevil. So that was the rest of my dude-on-dude action for the weekend, was just watching the rest of Daredevil. So just a lot of fist fights was my whole weekend.
Daredevil is known for its fist fights. That's a straight-up brawl and show.
Yes. Like, so I know you were texting me about a certain hallway scene.
Oh, that stairway scene.
Stairwell.
That stairwell scene was great. If you have not watched Daredevil yet, wait for the stairwell scene. That's like the brawl in season 2 or season 1. That was like the second episode. It was
Yeah, like
really
the hallway
good.
fight, but
the
it's
hallway
like
fight. Yeah,
instead of like straight ahead, it's up and down. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty awesome. So
Yep.
so anyway, that was my weekend of just a bunch of guys fighting each other. So I just wanted to share that.
very violent.
It was a very violent weekend, but it was very passive violent. All I did was watch all the violence. I didn't partake of any of it
There's
though.
a lot of popcorn.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Yeah, okay.
but yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick. But yeah, next time wrestling's in town, I'm going. I'm hooked. I don't know why I suddenly have a love of wrestling.
Yeah, you've gotten pretty wrestling heavy in the last 3 weeks.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm
kid.
regressing somehow. Like on like the social scale. I don't know what that is. It's just a weird. Like I suddenly feel like is NASCAR right around the corner? I hope that's not.
I don't
the
know.
case.
I don't think NASCAR would be right around the corner.
So all right. So enough about that. Let's just get on to the news.
Good news, everyone!
So, everybody knows the Marvel movies are pretty well known for their teasers at the end of the credits. Steve, what you were telling us something about Civil War that you heard.
Yeah, I was reading on Dark Horizons that the Russos said that there could be up to 3 different after-credit scenes leading into other Marvel films.
That's the most we've had so far. I think
Yeah.
some movies have had 2. I
Had
know like
kinda 2,
Avengers
yeah.
had 2 for a while.
Yeah.
Ant-Man only
Ant-Man
had the
had-
1, right?
Did it have one? It
Yeah,
had,
it had the
it had the
Civil War.
Wasp.
Oh no, it had 2. You're right.
It had Wasp's reveal of her costume.
What was
Yeah.
the other thing?
The
outside
Civil
of
War
Wasp?
bit where you had
Where Bucky's like tied
yeah,
down
yeah.
and Falcon's like a Noah guy. So-
Yeah, which is funny because like you find out later that was just a scene they shot, and it's like, oh, it's already completed, but it does tie into Ant-Man a little bit, so I guess we'll just throw it in there. So it didn't have anything to do.
Which was fine. I thought
Yeah.
that was cool.
So yeah, this is having 3. So now it's setting the bar for everybody else to be like, we've
Well,
done 3. Now you got to show us
I-
an additional 20 minutes in the next movie.
I just hope this doesn't give them gateway to just be like, let's keep, they want more teasers. Let's give them more teasers,
I hope the teasers are more like 22 Jump Street teasers, where they give you properties that you'll never see coming,
Right.
like Four Bushman or
like,
whatever.
Like variant covers, just like during the credits. That
Yeah.
would be crazy. What
but-
do you
yeah.
guys think? What do you guys think that the teasers could be leading to? Like, what do you think they're going to plug?
Well, like I said, I think that one of them is probably going to be... I can't imagine Sony not wanting them to push Spider-Man in some way.
Yeah.
So maybe a lead into Spider-Man. I feel like Doctor Strange is probably a good bet, too, since that's the next Marvel movie afterwards. And they really need to introduce him to an audience since, outside of, I think, in Winter Soldier, they mention him by name. And I think that's the only time we've really had a mention of him.
Yeah.
You think you'll think they'll do it like a teaser of an Infinity Gem linked to Doctor Strange? You think they're going to pull him into the Infinity thing?
I don't know. I mean, like, it just feels... I hope that not every single superhero story in the Marvel Universe has to tie around an Infinity Stone, because it feels like a lot of it is already.
Well, yeah.
Not Ant-Man necessarily, but I'm talking like the Vision has one. Red Skull had a hold of the whatever.
The Tesseract.
Tesseract, and it's like everything's going to all Infinity Stones. It's like, it would just be nice to have it just be more mystical. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I think they might tease Ragnarok, probably get people excited about that.
They do need to start a little hype around that.
Because the Hulk's not going to be in Civil War, so you got to show some Hulk and Thor are not going to be there, so you got to show them road tripping in space.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Like now that since we know so many movies are coming, it's like throw a dart. You're probably going to be right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
It's exciting, or maybe they'll tease something that we've never heard of. Like
that would be impressive.
like
if
you just
they
see Captain
sneak-
Marvel at the end. Like you just they reveal
Oh,
her.
I'd go crazy if they put Captain Marvel in at the end.
I heard it's a Rogue One teaser, oddly enough. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Vader's at the end. You're like, oh no,
no, Marvel Disney Universe. Yeah, he's riding Aladdin's carpet.
I think Joe would be the happiest person in the world if somehow Disney's like, you know what, we're all together now. We're just going to have Star
No.
Wars. Yeah,
I would not be happy.
it's like if I could just get Spider-Man with a lightsaber, I think I'd be the happiest guy ever.
I would not
no,
be the
sorry,
happiest guy.
Venom with the lightsaber, then I'd be the happiest guy ever.
I would not be the happiest guy ever.
With 2 lightsabers, I'd be the happiest guy ever. No, so yeah, that's going to be interesting. Makes me wonder also what they're going to throw at the end of Batman Superman. Even though I know that movie's going to be like 5 hours long, it makes me wonder what they're going to tease.
Is it going to be a long movie?
It's going to be about 3 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Civil War's going to be about 3 hours as well. So yeah. But we're going to talk more about that here a little bit because I know that's coming out soon. So, other bit of news I just want to throw out here because we got a lot to get to tonight. I didn't tell Joe or Steve about this, but there was a what is this? I want to say it's a British research vessel, like a ship, that they had public voting for a name. And so this thing is, what is it, a 200 million euro research vessel, and they let the voting go online. So right now, the number one name that's being voted upon, let's see here, how many votes did it get? I can't find that. Is Bodie McBoatface is the number one name for this research vessel. And
Why do people let the internet pick things? Like, do you remember that bridge? I can't remember. It was in like Eastern Europe, but it was like a bridge somewhere, and they put it to vote, the internet to vote to name it, and I think it was like they wanted to name it Chuck Norris because like you would have to cross Chuck Norris.
Yes.
And it was so close. Like, I think somehow it got vetoed out, or like it was second place, but it was like really scary that they were going to name this bridge Chuck Norris.
I like this. The RRS, Bodie McBoatface, it's currently outpacing other voted names as Endeavour, the Henry Worsley, which I'm sure that's something in British history.
Oh, you don't know Henry Worsley?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a Bodie McBoatface fan myself. David Attenborough is going to be another name where it's like he'll just drive around narrating everything as it went. And then the other one was what was it? Falcon was another one, and Not Titanic was another one as well. Oh, other names: Usain Bolt, Ice Baby, and Not the Titanic. So
Not the Titanic.
Yeah.
What about Nighthawk?
Yeah, Nighthawk.
Just call me Nighthawk.
Yeah, but I love that it's like right now Bodie McBoatface is the number one name for that.
That's a great name for a boat.
I just like to think that someone was sitting there being like, "Oh, that'll be funny just to put that out as a name," and then suddenly everyone's like, "Dude, you gotta check online. Like your name's like blowing up." I think that would be funny. Like so,
I kind of want a boat now.
Just to call it Bodie McBoatface.
McBoatface 2.
Yeah, like just like you know how you have all the different little schooners that go around it or whatever. I don't know boats.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought that was a funny story. So, yeah. Anyway, so we'll get right to because we normally have a couple. We usually take news for another 45 minutes. But
yeah, we've gone pretty news heavy lately, I think.
Yeah, I feel like there's not been any news since the last time. Not really, you know. So I'm sure there'll be more news next week because we're doing this early before all the press comes out about Batman Superman, so we can't talk about the reaction. But
yeah,
early reaction is like everybody loved it. So we'll see. Maybe it stuck the landing. I don't know. But all right, so let's just get right to the big part here. If I can find the right button.
And now for our feature presentation.
And I found the right button.
Ooh. All right, so Steve's here with us, and Steve, you're a comic book artist, and you live in Elyria, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
You can give us your actual address.
Yeah.
Send it up.
Just stop by, say hello.
And Soch, too. I'm sure
he'll do drawings within 15 minutes.
Our listeners love Social Security numbers. But currently your project is Saturday Night Slasher.
That is correct.
Which is a web comic. Tell us a little bit about that.
The Saturday Night Slasher is essentially a modern version of an 80s style slasher film done as a webcomic. Okay. It's done by myself, and I have a partner. Just to kind of break it down, I think you've got a pretty savvy audience, but I write it. My partner, Ryan Cassandi, he actually pencils it. He gives it back to me. I then ink it and color it and letter it, and then post it to the web. But it's basically, like I said, an 80s style slasher flick done as a web comic, and it's been running since about October. We try to hit every Saturday night. Some nights it's a little later than others, but
we can relate to that.
Yeah, we try to keep to a regular schedule, and if you like horror, if you like web comics, please give us a chance to take a look at it.
Yeah, and it's at thesaturdayNightSlasher.com. You can go in there, and it's just I like it because it's just I like the content anyway. I'm a big fan of like late 70s, early 80s slasher films anyway. So I just like that the pages they're big, and it's just like sometimes webcomics are just very quick and short, and it's like you just kind of burn through it, and you're like, I want more.
Yeah,
but these are actually like full size comic book panel pages.
I did get through it pretty quick, and I was kind of like, oh no, like I was like, and then I'm like restraining myself from asking you questions because I kind of want to read it.
Well, that's the interesting thing is that this is our first web comic, and we've done other projects. We had a comic called Abominations of Science that we did a Kickstarter for a couple of years ago, but that was a whole complete thing. And with a web comic, it's like, how much do you give away when you're trying to promote it and talk about it? So it's interesting because you set up there's certain tropes, and we won't go into a whole slasher tropes thing, but like, you start off with, who the villain is or what the first kill is, and then you start introducing characters, and it's interesting because, you're introducing one character at a time, 1 page a week. So it's an interesting process. So we're kind of learning as we go as well.
Do you guys bank stuff? Do you work on it and then... Or is it like an actual once a week? Because that's what we do here, is we record an episode once a week and then upload it almost immediately. And we've talked about banking episodes. But
we haven't figured that part out yet. Because we're so dependent upon... That movie comes out next week. I guess we can't just sit on it for 2 months and then wait to put it out later.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried a couple of times, and Ryan actually works farther ahead of schedule. He usually will knock out anywhere from 4 to 8 pages at a time. I'll give him the script, and then I will work as fast as I possibly can. But we've taken one break so far, and that was over Christmas. And what I thought was going to be a great time to bank stuff turned out not to be. So, I mean, there are times where we are going to have to take some breaks that I'd like to bank some stuff for. I'm going to be actually in England for 2 weeks coming up in July. I'm going to Star Wars Celebration. So,
oh wow, nice.
Yeah, so there will probably be a break over the summer. But as much as I would
Joe's
like to bank
gonna be FaceTiming you the entire time. It's like, could you just show me everything?
Who's there, Steve? Who's there? Yeah. Steve, who's that behind your shoulder? No.
Is that Venom with a lightsaber? My dreams have come true. So anyway, I'm sorry you're talking about like you have an idea of where you're going. So in terms of like when you say banking things, I'm sure that there's certain character points or action points you want to hit, but you just haven't gotten there yet. So I'm sure you already have that kind of in your head of where you're going with that. Or does it just kind of keep changing? Where like or sometimes when you write things, you're like, you know what, that didn't occur to me until I actually wrote it down, and that takes it a different direction.
It's interesting. I spent a good amount of time last year writing out like a full outline for where I wanted the story to go and what I wanted to happen. And I still work from that outline, but I will essentially write out, like I said, 4 to 8 pages at a time, just by going off of that outline. But there have been things that have changed drastically in that time just because I realize, hey, it's been a while since we've seen the slasher, and people are reading a comic that's called the Saturday Night Slasher, but for the last 4 pages, it's been a girl in her apartment. So, so things change here and there, but I do have an outline that I'm working for, and I know where the story is going. But it's one of those things where it's not playing it by ear, but it is. It's harder to break it down page by page when I'm just writing, so I try to do it in chunks.
Okay, so do you feel? Excuse me. Do you feel like because of the weekly publication format that you said something about being 4 pages ago, which is 4 weeks ago? Is it hard to have that in your head where you're like, I wrote that a month ago, but if someone's flipping through this, it's like they just read that 45 seconds ago. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that from a pacing standpoint of like, yeah, they may not have seen the killer recently, but if someone's coming up to this for the first time through, they really just did. Like that has to be a challenge of writing for time, of like the meeting publications and also expectations. Because it's like, for me, I'd be like, oh, I haven't seen him in a week. I wish I would have write him this time. Haven't seen him in a week. Here he is again. It would be my comic would be terrible, is what I'm saying. But
well, no, and I understand what you're saying with that too. I mean, the last 4 pages that have gone up, the most current pages in the last 4 weeks, have all been exposition about our main character, Julie Morrison. So it's one of those things where it's like I need to tell her story in order to get to his story. Mm-hmm. Basically, she is the protagonist of the story. And I'd mentioned earlier that the story itself is, an 80s style slasher flick done as a webcomic. There are things that I'm trying to play with and do differently. Instead of her being a either high school or college age girl who is young and naive, this is a 40-year-old borderline suicidal / alcoholic failed artist failed musician who is going to be your protagonist throughout the story. And it's to me, the thing that's the most interesting is this character going to meet her own end by her own hands or by the slasher? And that's where we're building, but again, because it's a webcomic, I have a feeling it's going to be a little while before we get there. So,
well, and then that's fine. Like I know this is a different format, but there was a few years ago there was a comic that I know I got Joe hooked on for a bit, and then we kind of both dropped off. That was the Gladiators. Do you remember that? It was the guy doing kind of like his own take on World of Warcraft, and it was weekly.
Oh yeah, I
and
remember
it was
that.
but he was doing like 1 page a week, and it was like, but he started getting like these really complicated stories where it's like I don't care now, and I just kind of stopped, and it's
it got out of control.
Yeah,
it was like this isn't like funny anymore. This is kind of weird, but
yeah, because I mean he used to have like each page had like an actual joke to it, and then after a while it's like, I just can't invest my time week to week getting to know this Tauren and this human that thinks he's a hunter. Like, but yeah, it was an interesting experiment at the time, and it got a lot of good feedback. But I think then his ambition grew and his story got away from him a little bit. With this, I like it because I mean, it's very pulpy. Not pulpy as in like I guess you throw back to like Tales from the Crypt a little bit too, but you got to have. You got to know your people before you start knocking them off, because then what's the point of having them around,
right?
So
that's when I was reading it, like when like Julie was at work, like, and I liked how you had was she like at a convenience store?
Yeah,
I can pick up because working in like a retail environment, I could relate to that character, but it also started to really flush her out, like how you were explaining how she's an alcoholic, borderline suicidal.
If you could just change it to video store, it would be very close to what I've experienced.
But no, but I like that because like the intro with the slasher killing that couple, and then jumping right into the protagonist, because like from when you first meet Julie, like I started to think like, is this going to be like just another victim, or is this going to be like your Laurie Strode? So I kind of enjoyed like watching her through the pages of like getting to know her character.
Oh, thank you. And like I said, it is. I'm old school when it comes to comics, so I will say that I even tried to go as far as, if you look at the webcomic itself, I tried to duplicate the feel of an actual like physical comic, because
yes, yeah.
I will say that while I produce a webcomic, I'm still somebody who's deeply set in the old ways of having a printed book in front of them. So even I am trying to adapt to that, and I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, no, I like because you're right. It does feel like a comic. It has like the layout still feels more like a comic. Like you go through the progression of the page. It isn't. I mean, when I think webcomic, I normally just think like you got your 3-panel, boom boom joke, like boom boom joke or whatever. Even though some of those guys play with that a little bit now because it's the internet and you can do whatever you want. But this is an ongoing story as opposed to just a web comic, and I think there's a little bit of a difference. When I think of web comic, I think of like I don't know, like Penny Arcade or like Buttersafe, which I don't know if anybody knows Buttersafe. That one cracks me up. But it's all like even though Penny Arcade sometimes does do like extended stories, for the most part it's their 3-panel jokes and then on to the next thing. This is a little bit more involved, and I dig it. I like the color tone of it. It does feel like those older horror comics, and it's a not muted color palette, but it has a very distinct, a little darker edge to it. I like that.
What have you done before Saturday Night Slasher? Like, what are some other things that you enjoyed working on?
I mean, basically the things that pretty much everything that I've done has been with my partner Ryan, and like I had mentioned earlier, we had a comic called The Abominations of Science. The first part of the actual issue is available on Comixology if you want to purchase it that way. But we also had a small Kickstarter a few years back where we did printed editions. We still have some. If you see us at a show, we'll be selling them. And that was sort of a parody of 50s and 60s sort of mad scientist films, but done in a similar fashion in that it takes place today. And then we've done a bunch of little small like Kinko's printed like hand done comics in the past. Everything from like we called ourselves one time the Amateurs of Horror to I can't even remember what the other one was. So most of our work has been on the smaller scale. So the slasher has really been our first attempt at doing something a little bit larger scale as far as bringing it to an audience.
Yeah, and I mean it looks legit. Not that it wouldn't look legit, but it's like this is a well polished like presentation, and that I think that goes a lot further. Obviously, the story and the characters are going to come out too, but it's like showing like, hey, this is like a legitimate art panel page. We're here to take us seriously, not just like, hey, we're just screwing around and making, I don't know. You can see the difference. Like technology is at a point now where if you know what you're doing, you can do something really well, but it's also the point now where anybody can pick up anything and try to do something, and that doesn't always produce good results. So, like you see everybody with like YouTube videos where it's like 5 minutes of them talking. It's not all that great, but you put somebody that actually knows what they're doing, you get a good product. So, yeah, again, maybe I'm not a good product. Maybe ours is like we're like amateur hour, but yeah, this is not. So, you clearly love like 80s slasher films and like the 70s stuff too. Like, what are some of your favorite slasher films that are influenced to this? I mean, I know Joe mentioned Halloween already, just in passing.
I would say Halloween is probably my all-time favorite horror film. And it kind of, there's the entire series, but like I'm a big fan of both Halloween and Halloween 4. Those are my two favorites. But there's I love Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. I love actually I love Scream. I love pretty much all 4 of them, with the exception of 3. So not really all 4 of them, just 3.
3 of them, but not 3.
Yeah, 3 was pretty bad.
Then there's your B movies. Like there was a film called Chopping Mall that is essentially
I love Chopping Mall.
Okay.
Yep.
So stuff like that I dig. But the main influences on this, I would say, are definitely Halloween, Scream. A little bit of Friday the 13th, although it doesn't. In that it takes place on Saturdays, but not. It's not related at all to the date. It's not like Saturday the 14th. So when it comes to that kind of thing, I definitely took influences from those and sort of not homogenize them, because I do think that there became a period where every slasher film became, we're going to break down the tropes for you, and we're going to tell you why you should be scared and why you shouldn't be, and what works and what doesn't. So this is just an attempt to me to sort of like do a horror story, a slasher story in that sort of style of that slow burn Halloween type story.
Yeah, with like the guy who doesn't have to move fast, but he'll just keep coming at you.
And I think
that really weirds me out versus like a lot of the other stuff. Where it's like he's just unstoppable.
Well, a lot of horror movies and even like current slasher movies, they go for that quick kill, quick shock value. And the older slashers horror movies, like you said, the 80s, like that slow burn does build a better tension. And I can't think the last time I saw a movie where tension got set through the whole movie and then it just exploded at the end, because now it's like these little pops.
I don't know. Like, did you see The Guest? That was I can't remember who directed that. It was out a couple years ago. It's on Netflix.
Who's in that?
It's some guy from Downton Abbey. That sounds really bad, but it's just a whole thing. It's like this guy who he is a soldier returning from like a tour, but he's going to visit a family because he's friends with like one of like the son of this family, and he didn't make it back, so he's like trying to tell the family like, hey, your son said he loved you and missed you and all this. So they're like, well, come on in. So they kind of like just let him into their house, and suddenly like things start adding up, where you got this guy who's military trained and it seems really nice, and it keeps like just turning up till like all hell breaks loose. It's really really solid.
That sounds good.
But yeah, so
that's
kind of, and it has like that almost like John Carpenter type of score to it, like that very synthy like. Yeah. Anyway, not that I'm trying to promote other people's projects, but I just thought maybe Joe heard of that movie, but he didn't hear of it. So that's
didn't ring a bell. Sorry.
Yeah, anyway, so I like the whole notion of like the terror in your backyard, and I think that's something that unfortunately still has a lot of resonance with today. And this whole thing of like, especially the idea, if this guy's only picking Saturdays, it's like that has to be that uneasy feeling of like, I guess I'm good the rest of the week. But then it's like comes up on Friday. It's like, well, he struck all his other places. Where's it going to be now? So
right.
It's a weird like tension that build during the week. It's like, okay, we made it Sunday. I guess we're okay now.
Yeah.
Unless it's daylight savings, then we got to wait another hour.
Yeah, it's definitely like one of those you feel comfy on the rest of the week, but Saturday.
Yeah.
And not giving away too much. I mean, there's a reason why he chooses Saturdays, and one of those reasons is it's the day that you're supposed to be relaxed and sort of, unless you work retail. But, it is the day that you're sort of like, it's your day for yourself kind of thing. And it's usually when people are
they have their guard down. They're unwinding.
Yeah.
They're unwinding. I see that, like, with her being a previously a musician, how much is music going to play into this? Because it feels like she has this background of where she had a dream, and there are some very specific references here to the kind of stuff that she liked playing. Is that something that like you're bringing in your love of that kind of music into this, or is it just something that you felt that kind of defined her?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both actually. When it comes to the music side of it. And it sounds pretentious when I say this, but I created a Saturday night slasher playlist that I listen to when I write.
I don't think it's pretentious. There's a lot of writers that will have
when I do things, I got to have a muse of some kind.
Yeah.
And it's probably an hour and a half long. A certain set of songs that are by specific bands. But what's interesting about that is that well, you can decide if it's interesting. But the songs that I put together are songs that I feel that she would listen to. Then there are songs that are from the era when she would have technically been out on the music scene. And then there are songs from horror films that kind of put me into that mood. For instance, I mentioned Dream Warriors. I have Dawkins, fantastic Dream Warriors song on there. And then there's other things like things that I think she would be into, like the Dead Milkman's Punk Rock Girl.
Okay.
So the music is going to play into the story. I kind of wanted it to be sort of pieced out throughout the story, so it kind of feels like there is kind of a soundtrack running through it, even though there's technically, it's not a movie. It's not something that will actually have music playing, but when you're done, you can say, oh, there are these songs, and this kind of builds a soundtrack.
Yeah, like I know James Gunn, like when he was writing the Guardians screenplay, that was the whole point. Like he came up with that mixtape and then pitched it to Marvel with the cover art being a Walkman. He's like, these songs kind of carry you through this whole experience. So I think that makes sense.
Well, the one panel I know she had the Alice in Chains CD or vinyl or whatever. I saw the three-legged dog, and that actually kind of like in my head I started like I could hear it. So
yeah, that's cool. So clearly, I mean, I'm sure you have an end game with this going weekly. So is there not an end point? Because I know you guys started this in October, so it's still relatively new story-wise because you're in the early stages. Like, how long do you see this going for? Is it something where it's going to evolve?
It's going to evolve. I originally had this genius notion at one point where I was like, we're going to do it twice a week, and I don't know what I was thinking. So I originally thought like, the first story would be somewhere in the 100 to 120 pages range, and that's the way I built my outline. That is subject to change, but I kind of see like I would like for it to keep going for a very long time. It's one of the things that I really liked about, or I like about Robert Kirkman's Walking Dead is it's the zombie film that never ends, but a comic book, obviously, not the TV show.
Yeah, because I mean, realistically, someone like this that goes around doing this, there's no guarantee that they're going to get caught in 90 minutes. Like that's. I mean, I guess it's just always the assumption, right? Is that the police are going to step in and find this person. It's like if they're really good at what they do, you may never know who they are, and that could be terrifying for a town, So especially if he's consistent every Saturday. Mm-hmm. Eventually, towns will get small enough to where you're going to be like, "There's 7 people here. I think one of them's that guy." But
it turns into the thing, and everybody's tied up with a blowtorch. One of you.
We're all going in the ship. We're sleeping the night through. That's it. No. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm jealous because I feel like this is the kind of stuff that like I always want to do, but I just can never get my act together and do it. So we decided just to podcast because that's way easier than drawing things. So
yeah, we don't have to draw much with our podcast.
Joe and I are going to do an animated podcast from now on.
If anything, I spend 5 hours doing audio clips.
Yes, we're going to post 1 minute a week, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is thesaturdaynightslasher.com, all one word. check it out. It is really, really cool.
We'll throw it up on our pages so you guys can see the links to click it easier.
Yeah, and if somehow I could end up being killed during the course of the comic, that'd be amazing. I want to be a victim.
Oh, you want to be a victim?
I want to be a victim.
Oh,
victims are so much more fun. You know?
All you got to do is ask. You're the first person to ask that. So
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You're in.
I mean, I'm an overweight white guy that's over 30. I'm not going to make it to the end of the story.
No.
I know that.
Do you think you could outrun him? No.
No. Could I die listening to my own podcast like I was talking about earlier? That'd be too much. No, but
Yeah.
I think being a victim in a horror movie would be a lot more fun than making it to the end.
Yeah,
right?
I would too.
Yeah, so I think that'd be hilarious, honestly. And then because then also I guess I wouldn't fear my own death because I already know how I died. If
Yep.
I saw that, I'd be like, well, I guess it can't be that bad, you know. So. But another reason we had Steve on, aside from the talk about his project, he is a big Batman fan. You know, and with Batman Superman coming up, it'd be great to have a discussion about this because, as we've proven time and time again, we're pretty heavy Marvel.
Yeah.
And so I've been kind of negative about Batman Superman. So that's putting
I think
it mildly.
a lot of people that I know have. I mean, how are you feeling about it? I didn't get to ask you.
So I don't want to go too far in because I'm going to say that while I'm not saying that I'm negative, the most telling thing that I can say about it is that Batman and Superman were my heroes, you know, growing up. Outside of, say, Luke Skywalker, he's still number one, but then Batman, Superman. But I'm not that excited about the movie, so I feel like.
I mean, I'm still going to check it out, but I'm not like outside the doors on Thursday, like ready to go.
Yeah,
check
like
it out.
I mean, I can't tell you. Like I was so much more excited for Deadpool, like than like Star Wars. Like I know I've admitted that, and I'm really stoked for Civil War. Like I'm trying not to watch anything else about it because I really just want to go in and see the rest of it. But yeah, Batman Superman. I'll probably see it opening weekend, but I'm not going to be. I don't know.
I mean, using your example of The Force Awakens, I bought tickets for that Thursday for 7, and then I bought tickets for 10:40. So I did 2 showings back to back.
How many showings did you do at one day, Joe? Like it was like 4, 5?
I only did 2 one day.
Okay.
So I went and saw it Thursday night, and then I went and saw it 10 a.m. Friday morning, and then I went and saw it Friday night. So within a 24-hour period, I did see it 3 times.
There you go. So. Yeah,
and one of those times I was supposed to be doing the podcast.
Yeah, so thankfully Jonathan was around, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm never seeing Joe again. So, yeah, and he's like, oh, I forgot to tell you I got tickets. I'm like, well, I guess I got to figure out something because.
And they're showing it at the OmniMax theater at the Science Center.
Still.
Yeah, I want to go check it out at the Science. Dude, that screen's amazing.
It is.
Did you know about that?
I did not. So if you're going, let me know.
Yeah, check it out. I will let you know because like we were gonna go. They were all sold out on Saturday, last week, and I wanted to check it out then, but like I got to find out when they're gonna have tickets because I want to see it in that big.
Do you think the big screen will change the fact that the movie leaves me hollow because it feels like a lot of the same Star Wars I've already seen already? Do you think the screen size will change that?
No, but it'll be fun to watch. Yeah, Paul.
I just why is the number one killing like idea in that universe just like, well, we got to get a sphere that can shoot things. Okay, well that didn't work out the first time, but what if we make a bigger one? Like, how much bigger are they going to make? It's just like, this planet thing didn't work. We just got to keep making bigger and bigger circles.
There's going to be a solar system in 8.
Yeah,
it's going to be a solar system of weapons.
It's just going to be one big sphere that's like, oh, we got to find another weak spot.
It's going to be about 7 spheres that orbit a sun.
Yeah, anyway, that's my problem is like you got the force powers, which are badass. It's like, no, we need circles that shoot things. That's what we really need. Not the force stuff. Like that stuff's okay to fight on top of the circles, but not actually, anyway. All so, right. Yeah.
I feel like I've taken us off topic.
No. We get off topic a lot.
No, that's not off topic. That's very on topic. No, right. So Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, like, I mean, in this movie, I think it kind of shocked a few people, just like Civil War kind of shocked a few people, and I think it's really interesting that we're going to have a year of 2 superhero fighting movies, and people
with the conflict being heroes versus heroes,
yeah. And I think that conflict is new to a lot of people, but like things like Batman versus Superman, like I know that's been around for a while, like since the 80s. I want to say they first started fighting in Dark Knight Returns. Because it was like prior to that, like the 60s ish, they had they were buddies, like all through the
Yeah.
60s and 70s, and then like I think like in the wake of Crisis of Infinite Earths, that's when like everything kind of started to change, and then Batman Superman's relationship changed a lot in the comics.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. So the whole idea of them butting heads has been around for a long time, but cinematically actually having two different thought processes, like, he's always about like protecting, and then Superman's about like the greater good, and it's like, and those don't always line up, and I think that's an interesting conflict. I think Civil War is going to kind of is the same thing too, where it's like you have to have accountability also and the ability to operate without strings attached, so I think, and so I guess it's the same thing, but
here, and when you mention Civil War, and I won't go too far into that either, but what I think is the difference between Civil War and Superman Batman is that Civil War is going to be two heroes fighting each other that have built a relationship over how many films.
Yeah.
And Batman Superman were literally just like, here they are, and they're going to fight.
I think you're right. It does carry a little more weight because you see the friendship fall apart, whereas this is something completely new. And like a lot of people have compared it to like when they did Dark Knight Returns, that was like Frank Miller's run, and they're using a lot of references from that, like with the older, like Ben Affleck's playing the older Batman, and he's coming back to fight crime, and then Superman comes into it, and I guess in Dark Knight Returns, I know the government asked Superman to like, you need to slow this dude down, he's kind of out of control. So Superman intervenes, and that's when they get in the fight. And the suit that he wears is very similar to the suit that it looks like in the movies, like the Frank Miller suit. And then, like you were saying, like with them just kind of like running into each other, they're doing it almost like, I know like Jim Lee and Jeff Johns did a run of Justice League where I think it was around New 52. You said you didn't read a lot of New 52?
Yeah, I mean, really, I've only read some of the Capullo, Snyder, Batman stuff, and that's about it.
But, like, I know Superman was kind of like the new guy on the block, like, almost like he came into it and you already had, like, Lantern, Arrow, and Batman a little bit established. And they were reacting to, like, this overly powered alien just popping up. And that's when, like, they started throwing down because that they're using... It seems like, and I haven't seen the movie, so I'm kind of speculating, but it seems like they're using that as, like, a vehicle for the movie for Batman and Superman to throw down because, like, Batman sees this dude and he's just like, this guy could, be a serious problem. Let's, try and get him in check. And then eventually they talk it out. But
and I'd almost be okay with that just by itself. But then you're going to have Wonder Woman involved, which I guess everybody's saying that she's the best part of the movie, which that's a good thing in terms of Wonder Woman, maybe not for the movie itself. But then you're going to sneak in the Flash. You're going to sneak in, I think Cyborg's in there for a second, and Khal Drago. I mean, Aquaman's in there for a split second too. I mean, Roman Reigns. Aquaman.
Reigns shows up.
Yeah. So it's like you got all that
coming out the audience.
Yeah, and no one really wants him there anyway. So, side note, I was watching Flashpoint, the cartoon on Netflix last night, and there's this whole bit where all the Justice League have these bombs. They're going across the Earth to keep them like real quickly because they're detonating because like Professor Zoom did something. And you see, like, Green Lantern in space with Batman doing something. Superman just has his hands over it to keep it from detonating. And Wonder Woman does something. And you see Aquaman take the one bomb and just throw it in the ocean. And it's like, thanks, Aquaman. Yeah. That was really helpful. Yeah. Like, thanks. I guess that's really... Anybody could have just done that, But then he's like, I'll call the algae and the bacteria to eat away at the wiring of the bomb. It's like, no. It's cool. You can just say you got waterlogged. You don't have to make up stories about what your powers are. So anyway, I feel like they're cramming too much in here. And then also saying, oh, by the way, this is setting up all these standalone movies and the Justice League. It feels very backwards. And I don't like that they're treading on the goodwill that Marvel set up cinematically just to be like, hey, you guys already know a connected universe. We're giving you one in full, but not developed. And I don't like that.
Well, they are doing it backwards because, like, Marvel, they were like, we're going to spit out a Thor movie. And a lot of people were like, really, a Thor movie? And even Captain America First Avenger was kind of... so I thought it was okay, but it didn't blow me away as far as like a superhero movie, but it laid groundwork for Avengers. They literally made those two movies for Avengers.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just feel like also this is my own personal prejudice. I think that they've done such good casting with the CW shows that I don't like that they're casting new people in those roles. Like I don't need another Flash.
It's gonna be hard for me to see them put another Green Arrow in there and not be Stephen Amell or even Grant Gustin not playing the Flash. It's like
I don't know. Like I don't see why that anyway.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I I do wonder like how they're going to make that work and how they're going to reconcile that, hey, go see the Flash movie, even though there's a TV show that's probably going to be better.
I couldn't see how they would. Yeah, they would do a Flash movie to compete with the TV show.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. That's weird. It's like back in the day, you'd have the movie, and then they would make a TV show. It's like, oh, we can't afford that actor, so we'll just do somebody else.
Well, I remember before they threw the cape on Brandon Routh, like they were like, we got to get Tom Welling to. There were so many people like, why are we not using Tom Welling for this movie?
Yeah. So I feel like DC, like comic book fans get the whole notion of alternate realities and different stories, and that just because like if they ever made like a Gotham by Gaslight movie, I would love that. Like where it was like Batman going after Jack the Ripper set in like, London in like the 1800s or whatever. I would love that, but people would be like, that doesn't make sense. It's like, I would love that as a standalone movie, but it's too far for like just moviegoers to get into. But so we can accept all that. I just feel like DC is just like, they're not unifying their brand and making it stronger as a whole. They're just expecting people just to love all the separate parts of it and accept it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe, I know I'm biased towards Marvel, but I feel like their strategy, because at first I was not happy with Disney buying Marvel whatsoever, but they've done so well with it that I feel like going forward, how could you not want to make your brand bigger and better as you go along?
They need to sew a few of the pieces together a little bit better, but right now I think it's great that you can, even if you don't follow everything, because there's people who are like, they'll go see the movies or they'll watch the Netflix series, but then they won't see certain movies, but they can jump in and out of them and know what's going on.
That's true.
So,
well, remember when we first started doing the show, way back when, almost a year ago, we were talking about that you and I both witnessed that. Was it you and I were Carol and John's? We saw the guy walk in and start talking to one of the guys there saying, oh, I watched the Daredevil show. I want to buy Daredevil. Were you with me when that happened?
I was there once when a guy did that for Green Arrow.
Okay. So I thought it was interesting that has spurned people, not spurned, but has caused people to go in and be like, I want to read more about this now. So that's a good effect. But I just think as a whole, I mean, I hope, like, as much as I know I've been like kind of just like giggling at the idea of Batman and Superman crashing, I hope it does well for DC and for DC fans. Just right now, Zack Snyder has not instilled a lot of goodwill because Man of Steel was not that great of a movie.
Yeah, you bring up Zack Snyder, and the thing that I find interesting about him is that he's just looking at the movies that he's made. He's more focused on the visuals, which is what I'm getting from Superman, Batman as well. Just going through it real quick, Dawn of the Dead, fantastic movie, but I feel like that's more due to James Gunn's script.
That was a good movie. That was a good remake. And
you get to 300. Again, he's basically taking Frank Miller's visuals, putting them on the screen. He didn't really do much story-wise. It's the same, it's an adaptation. You get to Sucker Punch. I don't know anybody who liked that movie. Maybe there's someone out there.
Everyone loved the trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer was amazing.
The trailer was amazing. Yeah. Which is what we talked about in our one trailer episode, like trailers that do that.
And like Watchmen. I think Watchmen.
I enjoyed Watchmen.
I liked Watchmen. I mean, that's a tough story to make into a movie and make it make sense.
Yeah.
And get across. And I think he did well with the script that was given to him. Because that intro sequence to the Bob Dylan song,
yeah, that was a great
is one of the best
sequence.
intro sequences to any movie ever. And that's why I had hope for Man of Steel. But I think also having Christopher Nolan be like over your shoulder the entire time, it's like I don't know if that helps. Because like Christopher Nolan doesn't want superpowers. He wants it all grounded in reality. Unless it's dreams, and then you can do whatever you want, but or space, but I don't know.
But do you think, like you said, with like how Zack Snyder's visuals and the way he used it, like with 300 is, iconic Frank Miller. Do you think that he's going to be able to recreate that using Ben Affleck as Batman and kind of like doing that Dark Knight Returns feel?
See, and I think that's, what I was saying earlier about Civil War with, Cap and Iron Man is that you've got a relationship that's built up. So it puts so much more emphasis on the tension between the two. Whereas we're getting the visuals that were in Dark Knight Returns, but, at that point in the story, there's also supposed to be this entire history. It's not supposed to be not a good thing, but it's not supposed to be a spectacle when the two go up against each other. Like they're in, a back alley. Well, they're in Crime Alley of all places, and Batman isn't the thing that I see in the trailer is it's like, oh, Batman's going to take Superman down. Where it's, if you read Dark Knight Returns, that last issue where he's fighting Superman, he's just trying to stay alive at that point, to a certain point, until he knows that, Oliver jumps in with the kryptonite arrow. It's not about him trying to take Superman down. It's about him trying to prove a point in a certain way. So there's a lot more going on to that fight that makes it great than just Batman's in a pseudo robot suit and it looks really cool and Superman is going to try and take him down.
We already know that the whole crux of that is like we fight and now we have a common enemy, which I didn't like that the trailers
that
also
they
kind of
spilled the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think the substance is going to be missing. I would be delightfully surprised if they kind of got it in there somehow. If they managed to, in the whatever 3 hours you said the movie's going to be, if they managed to get the development of their relationship in there. But it's not. It's like that Jim Lee run where it was like Superman just appeared, and the rest of the heroes are trying to deal with him, and Batman's trying to figure it out. So,
I mean, my question too is how do you think of, or what was your guys' opinion of Luthor?
So far, I'm annoyed by him.
Same here.
I don't like it. I can see where they're trying to take it. It almost looks like they're trying to do like a millennial view of it. But
and I don't think that's a bad idea.
It's not. But
just, if it's like taking him from Social Network and be like, you know what, you're just playing Zuckerberg in this movie, I think I'd have kind of been okay with it.
It's hard to judge in a world where we've had Heath Ledger play the Joker, and people had so many bad opinions before it came out, and then they were just like blown away and lost their mind with the way he played the Joker. In the same way that a lot of people are kind of hyping Jared Leto. Like, what if Jesse Eisenberg takes Lex Luthor that direction? Who knows? But, like, from the trailer, it's kind of like, it's hard to get behind. Because, like, the Lex Luthor we know, it's like, that's not what we're used to. And even like, I would say non-big comic book fans, they see this guy who's kind of goofy, and then, like, he becomes, like, this nemesis of Superman, like...
Well, there's the whole bit in the trailer where it's like, Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. It's like, we get it. Just stop, like... You don't have to hit us in the head with this. They're meeting at a party, and you're Lex Luthor. It's okay. Like, I hate how it was like, hey, guys, just to let you know, they're meeting up together, and they're not in their outfits. We just want to let you know in the trailer that that's happening right now, just so you're aware. And then they go to shake hands, and Eisenberg's like, oh, that's a grip on that guy. It's like, we get it. He's Superman. It's okay.
And
like,
sadly,
I was waiting for him to be like, man, that grip, that's a super grip. That's a super grip. Man, watch out for you. That's a super
grip, man.
Yeah.
My whole favorite thing I took away from that, though, is just the Kevin Conroy smirk that Ben Affleck does in that scene, though.
Yeah.
So
I hope it's good. I hope that they do Wonder Woman justice, because, I mean, that would be awesome, because she's long overdue. And I'm excited for her movie, because it's going to be a period piece, like in the 40s. It's going to be more adventure-y. Like that's more like Captain America was, which I'm okay with that. And I'm actually really excited for Suicide Squad, more so than Batman Superman, which is unfortunate because this is supposed to be the launch to the summer season, and until I go and feel better about it, I'm not going to feel better about it.
Have they confirmed or denied whether or not that Batman's going to show up in Suicide Squad at all? I think
they shot stuff.
They shot some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There was images, I think, like 3-4 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, because that shows that they're tying in.
And that he lived.
Yeah.
No, not that they killed Batman off and Batman Superman. It's like, that's it. It's done. It's like, oh, Superman, he's broke Zod's neck. He's going after Batman next. It's like, that's it.
Well, I mean, it could take place like before Batman versus Superman. Who knows where that's going to fall in a timeline?
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Where it's like, hey, DC. It's like, we're just going to screw with everybody. We're going to have a prequel movie after this movie, and Batman dies in this, but he's alive in this. That would be. I don't know. That would be
no, I don't think they're going to kill Batman off. But I mean, depending on how it goes, I would like to see them get another Batman movie going.
Okay, so Rotten Tomato, like over under, what do you think the overall tomato meter is going to be for Batman Superman?
I honestly don't know. I can't judge it off of the trailer like that.
It's 2016. Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna go in the 60s. In the
60%.
I'm gonna go in the 60s.
So you think it's going to be not certified fresh? It's just going to be just above, like,
I think it's going to be like above some of the like Ghost Rider.
It's Jennifer Garner's Elektra or Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
No, I should say, I really hope I'm wrong. I want to love this movie. I want to, get excited about these characters. And I think that was, when I got really long-winded earlier, the point that I was trying to make. And I really do hope.
Have you listened to our show, the long-winded bit? It's fine. That's our bread and butter.
I want to love the movie. There hasn't been anything that's really grabbed me in the trailers. So I'm going to say, just based on the way most comic book movies go, I'm going to say it's probably going to be somewhere in the 60s or 70s.
So I don't know if you can make this happen, because you revealed to us before the show that you're the last person in the world that's not seen Deadpool.
Yes.
You should find a way, and this would probably be a little bit of self-torture, and find a way to watch Batman, Superman, and then watch Deadpool.
I can.
Yeah.
The Autorama is opening up this weekend, and they're doing a double feature, Batman, Superman, and Deadpool.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Yeah, because then, because Deadpool's it's like a tight 90 minutes, so you're gonna,
for the kids.
It's perfect for the kids.
You know, it's funny. We went last weekend. We went and saw Zootopia, which wasn't too bad. We went and saw Zootopia, and it was on a Saturday or Sunday or something, and it was just like crazy wall-to-wall kids at the theater. And I kept walking around. I'm like, all these kids need to get out of here and go watch Deadpool already, because that's why they're actually here.
So yeah, I think it would be, if you could pull that off, then you're going to have whatever your reaction is to Batman, Superman. But I feel like Deadpool got everything so tonally right. So that's going to be a weird, if you're, I don't know. Deadpool was awesome, and I'm not saying that's because it's Marvel, because it's not. I mean, it's Marvel, but not Marvel Disney.
Yeah, it's Fox.
It's just that that movie, other than the budget could have been a little higher for some more stuff going on, I don't know how that movie could have been any better.
A couple more X-Men in the mansion.
So
two people in here.
Yeah, it just makes me. It'll be interesting to get your opinion of what you feel tonally if they nailed that movie, and then if you end up seeing those back to back, that'd be actually a lot of fun. So enough about those guys fighting, because we talked about that. And also, again, I'm going to throw out another plug for the Saturday Night Slasher, who he fights a lot of people too, and probably wins a lot of the fights that he has.
So far, he's undefeated.
He's 2-0. Yeah, slashers have good records.
They do, because they don't do this whole we gotta wait. It's just I'm going to be the most efficient. I'm going to just hunt you down. And yeah.
Does it count as a loss if they kind of get taken out but then come back for another movie?
I feel like that's more of a tie.
As a tie?
Yeah. Like the whole with what was it, Nancy in the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, where she has that sledgehammer that's above the door frame that swings down to hit Freddy. It's he gets clocked pretty hard. So whoever that actor is, he was selling it, just getting boom, that sledgehammer right in the chest.
I watched that literally Saturday, and that's one of my favorite parts of the movie is when he gets hit with that sledgehammer.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
I liked, and not to go off on that tangent, but that also felt like it was one of the movies to give a lot of power to. I know with Halloween you had Laurie Strode, she did fight back, and was successful, but that's not always the standard, and then that was good to actually say, screw you, I'm bringing you into reality, and I'm hitting you with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. I kind of like that, because it gives that little trickle of hope. Even in the beginning of Saturday Night Slasher, when she's running from him, and she gets a couple good hits on him. He's like, oh, but you're like, oh man, what's gonna? Oh, nope, she's dead.
Yeah, and the bit with the knife, I've not seen that ever, and I'm just like, oh, that's wrong. I thought that was awesome. So, kudos there. But yeah, I just. I like.
We're gonna tell everybody the whole comic.
Yeah, so let's go back to page 1. We'll just read it out loud now. We'll do a live reading.
Can I get Morgan Freeman to read it?
Yes.
The blood dripped down slowly off of the knife onto her lifeless body. See, I can do it.
I see. I can't do. If I could do a Morgan Freeman voice, I would do it for everything. I'd go to the drive-thru. I'd order food that way.
We'll narrate in different characters for you.
Do either of you guys use Waze?
I don't know. I know Waze has the voice, because we went out to when we went to Cedar Lee the other night. I had Amy pull up Waze, and I was like, I can't remember who it started out as.
That's a navigation thing, right? Because they have celebrities doing that.
It started out as some celebrity, and I was like, who else you got? And she's like, I got Morgan Freeman. I'm like, yeah, let's do Morgan Freeman.
Does he tell you to go through 2 miles of shit? Does he just tell you that?
No, he's like, turn left here.
He's like, I'm a man that can get you things. And it's here, get the rock hammer. You'll be here for a little while. Don't worry, it's fine. That's a good Morgan Freeman. I didn't know you had that.
I didn't either. I just pulled it out of nowhere.
That's awesome. So, all right. So we've been talking about fights. So let's get back to, we're going to get to our super bracket of awesome.
It's time to play the game.
Time to play the game!
And I'm spitting water all over the place now because, like, just like Triple H, I'm just going to blow water up in the air and have it be all sparkly on the way down. That's a disgusting thing to do when that's your intro.
You really, this is like you really hate his entrance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really just trying to work the mic and talk smack for our eventual fight that we're going to have.
He's going to come out in WrestleMania in some crazy get up and won't do that though, just like he did last year with the Terminator.
The Terminator thing, that was yeah.
That one was probably one of his weak. He came out in a really cool Viking one once,
but he had like this weird like robot skull face though, like a fake robot arm. I'm like, it was just really bad, so bad. I'm just tossing the mic around. Anyway, Triple H, I'm coming for you.
All right, so the brackets have broken down. We're not in the Sweet 16 yet, but that should go pretty quick.
The kind of OK 32.
The kind of OK 32.
Yeah, so we got a lot of ground to cover. So we should
the old 32.
Yeah, we'll try to make this.
We'll jump
faster.
right into it. So we broke it down. We had a Marvel side and a DC side. So it's going to come down to a DC person versus a Marvel person for the championship. So and we strayed away from the big heavy hitters. So there's going to be some people in here that either you may not have heard of or you did hear of, but you haven't heard of in a while. And I think actually a lot of these people are not really too obscure.
A lot of the obscure ones got rid of in the first round.
Yeah, because we were like, who?
I don't know who that is.
So for the first one for Marvel, the first winners of the first bracket, we have Mr. Negative versus the Blob.
Ooh.
I think Mr. Negative, just because I think he has more control. The Blob in a straight up fist fight would probably win, but I think Mr. Negative just has too much mind power. He could probably just turn the Blob and make him.
He'd get him with that drug, that psychotropic drug.
He'd be like, I command you to use the elliptical and not be the Blob anymore.
So my question is, who did the Blob beat?
The Blob actually beat Super Skrull, which I've been told was a bad win.
I don't think that's a bad win. I think that's a solid win because Super Skrull wasn't smart.
Well, I guess the Blob actually was burned alive, so not by the Super Skrull, but I think him and Pyro got into it. I don't know.
Okay, but
yeah.
So you're saying one of the four abilities Super Skrull have would have been the weakness for the Blob.
Would have been the yeah. He'd have burned all that calories.
Can the Super Skrull actually assume all of one of the Fantastic Four, or is it always has to be I have to have one flame arm and one wiggly arm and one thing leg and one invisible leg? Does it always have to be all four of them?
He can do all. He can do all four, or he can do all at once, or all four.
Because I just see him just taking a swing at the Blob and not getting out.
No, because he looks like a regular Skrull, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm elastic and on fire.
Okay. So either way, Blob won. Deal with it.
So we're gonna go with Mr. Negative.
We busted your bracket.
All I'm going to do is just who beat who? No.
Yeah. So we'll go back.
We'll
question
go back.
Everyone.
We're going to revisit our original decisions. Yeah.
So I would say Mr. Negative too.
Yeah.
I think maybe if the Blob got a hold of him, but I just think that
is this a burn to the crisp Blob as per last fight? No, I'm joking.
No.
Okay.
All right. So then we have on the DC side we have Clayface versus Reverse Flash.
So it's kind of like the Blob.
Kind of, only a little more like Play-Doh-y.
Yeah.
I feel like the Reverse Flash probably takes that.
Yeah, I gotta go with Reverse Flash.
He's going to run in a circle and then do some ghost type of pottery with him. He's just going to spin him and make him into an ashtray, and that's going to be it.
I really want to see that.
Yeah, I do want to see that fight.
You see Reverse Flash, and all of a sudden you see Flash's hands go over top of his hands.
And I'm gonna read it or watch it while Unchained Melody plays.
Yeah. But it's going to be a really shitty ashtray that he gives to his mom.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, Reverse Mom, I got you this ashtray."
Oh, Eobart. This is low. I'm going to put this right over here with the birdhouse you made me. Very quickly.
Oh, There's not even a hole in it. That's how fast the birds keep crashing into it.
So, Marvel side, we got Omega Red versus Moon Knight.
See.
I'm going to go with Red on this one.
Yeah. Even though I compared Moon Knight to Crazy Hobo Batman, is what I called him on the Geek Eclectic podcast, and I said his sidekick was a trash can fire that he carried around with them because I feel like he's Crazy Batman without the money.
Yeah.
See, and that's why I kind of feel like he would win.
Because he's Crazy Batman.
Yeah.
See, and that's how he won. Who did he beat in the last round? Tombstone. No. Yeah. Wait. No. Moon Knight. Mysterio. He beat Mysterio.
Yeah.
Because Mysterio would have probably tried to play tricks on him, but he's
so
crazy.
I'm so crazy
I'm
anyway.
so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Yeah.
Eats his can of beans and just goes nuts. I don't know. I feel like I think Omega Red's going to take him.
Moonarangs. All right, we'll go with the Red. All right, and then DC, we have Deadshot versus Power Girl.
I'm going to go Power Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I mean, like, he could pop a couple shots off and hit a brick wall, and that's going to happen.
What if it was Deadshot as Will Smith as Hancock? Secret, you didn't know. What if it was Hancock cosplaying as Deadshot? You don't know.
Oh, man. Okay.
I always try for the TV movie stuff. He won't let me do it. He won't let me bring it in.
What was the other one? It was
Steel. I was like, I want Shaquille O'Neal as Steel.
Shaq Fu.
Oh, that actually wouldn't be a bad brackets to do at some point. Is just take every superhero who's been in a movie
because it was like Ryan Reynolds Deadpool versus Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah, and I keep trying to fit in Laurel Lance from Arrow because I know Joe hates her. So
everybody hates Laurel Lance from Arrow.
Laurel Lance versus a Fit the Scotch. Who's going to win?
Oh, isn't that what I got her for Christmas?
Yeah.
Or what did we do?
Something
was
like
that
that.
for Christmas?
It was
Secret Santa. I was like, I got her more alcoholism.
Yeah.
So, all right, Marvel, we got Penance versus Medusa.
That's a tough one too.
It is.
I think Penance is really powerful, but
I'm going to give it to Medusa based on the fact she could totally lock him down, and he kind of needs to move because it's Speedball. He's got to have some type of kinetic energy to absorb.
Wow, I'm going to agree with that, but I don't think I've read anything with Penance probably since the Generation X days.
Yeah, he hasn't been in...
No.
I mean, he kind of...
So I don't know where he's at now. Maybe he's more powerful, but...
We're gonna put.
I mean, that has to take it out of you after a while, where it's just like, I mean, I'll step on a Lego and be down for like a week and just have a whole suit.
He gets superpowers from it.
It's like yeah. I mean, after a while, I have to be like,
guys.
He
carries loose Legos around and he throws them out and he's like, it's going down.
And just in case, like, he's like, guys, wait, I'm gonna fall on my car keys and I'll be able to knock that building over.
All right. This is an interesting one. So we got Deathstroke versus Killer Frost.
Oh,
both of them have Death and Killer in their names.
Yes. See, I'm gonna go with Deathstroke just because he always has an angle. Like, right? That's the whole thing, is he always knows, like, even if someone's more powerful than him, he knows how to take them out. He's very...
I agree. You know? I feel this is a tough one for me because I feel like Killer Frost, she definitely has the power set. But you're right, Deathstroke is one of the... Because they always make their merc villains or just their non-superpowered villains contenders with these guys for a reason. Yeah. And I think if somebody was like, here's some money, go take care of Killer Frost, he would get the job done.
Like, if Batman could take out Killer Frost, I think Deathstroke could.
What do you think?
I agree, actually, with Deathstroke, because I feel like he is sort of not bad, like, or evil Batman, but in the sense that, like, he doesn't have powers. He's, he's able to stand toe-to-toe with the best of the best kind of thing. I also think of him as a Green Arrow bad guy, just for, obviously...
Deathstroke saved the TV show for me in season 2. He was so awesome.
I still think season 2 is the best season. Yeah. Just because of all the Deathstroke talk.
Like, I want to see a Slade Wilson TV show. It was really
excluding Summer Glau. Because
that was weird.
I didn't know what was going on when she had that Deathstroke outfit on.
Like, that was it was weird.
What are you wearing? Like, I can't take you seriously.
No.
All right.
She had some Christina Ricci forehead going on there. It was just really weird.
It was bizarre. I kind of get that Christina Ricci thing now that you say that. I don't know why you had a helmet like that.
It's like, Wednesday, go away. We're done with you. We don't know why you're Deathstroke.
Miraculu? Okay, whatever. All right, so we got Moonstone versus She-Hulk on the...
That's a good one.
You got a psychologist versus a lawyer.
Yeah, and they both are super strong, right? That's the whole thing with Moonstone, right? Yeah. Or she have, like, ray-based powers.
She's got ray-based powers, but she's strong and she can fly.
Oh.
I'm going to go with She-Hulk.
Yeah, I just never underestimate the power of litigation.
No. Yeah.
I'm going to actually just sit here and agree with everything. Yes. I agree.
All right. And then DC, we have the Clock King versus Jonah Hex.
Oh!
Jonah Hex.
He was around before clocks were invented, so I don't know. That's going to be tough.
He'd be trying to do clock things. He'd be like, psh, those didn't exist.
Clock King's one of those odd villains that just, he works in small doses, but I don't think he's going to last against Jonah Hex.
He always has like some cool thing he did with time, and you're just like, oh, that's so clever. That's why he's powerful. But if they did it too much, or you're right. If he popped up too much, you'd just be kind of like, really? How's he keep eating people?
And I think Jonah Hex is a dirty fighter. Like, I think he would change up whatever it is he's doing, so there'd be no regularity. He would just be like, okay, well, you're timing everything. Well, I'm just going to go throw sand in your face. We're done now. Like that's. Like,
how long does it take to get sand out your eye?
Yeah.
Count it.
Done.
Boom. All right, so we're gonna go with Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex is doing pretty good. Who did he beat before?
Uh-oh. There we go.
I just want to look.
Was it the Super Skrull?
Oh, no, he beat Hawkgirl.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
All right. All right, so Marvel, we have Quake versus Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, yeah. See, Quake has the power set. Kraven the Hunter has crazy. That's like, I love Kraven the Hunter just because just give that guy.
You know who I wish could
have
snuck up on the bracket near him was Kraven versus Moon Knight.
Yes.
It'd
have to be in a train yard. That's where the fight would be around a bunch of empty boxcars.
I love Kraven to death, but I got to give it to Quake.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Kraven only because of the fact that he took Spider-Man down in probably one of my favorite all-time Spider-Man stories. So
yeah.
What do you say, Kraven?
I'm saying Kraven.
Kraven.
He's also. I mean, he's kind of like Deathstroke with like a fur jacket. It's kind of like because he always knows like what he stalks his prey, figures out what to do. Yeah.
This is the one that I was waiting for from last week. Swamp Thing versus Constantine.
Oh, that's a tough one. Oh. It's going to be Constantine because I think
Magic.
I think he
you
would.
Think the magic's going to come.
He would cross a line to make it happen. I think Swamp Thing has a code, like a plant code.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know what that is.
He's pretty morally sound. What's his name? Alan. What's his last name?
Moore.
No, it's not Alan Moore.
that's sadly that's what I was thinking.
It's Dr. Alan something. That's going to be on the tip of my tongue. Anyway,
Alan Chlorophyll. Is it
no.
Dr. Chlorophyll?
Is it?
Dr. Pete Moss. Was that his name? Was that Swamp Thing's name?
So what are you saying? Swamp Thing or Constantine? What do you think, Steve?
I think it's probably going to be Constantine.
Constantine? I gotta agree.
I think he would have some really bad karma coming after him after he beat Swamp Thing, but I think he would do it. Also, he'd just probably light a cigarette and throw it at him and be done with it. It's like, I'm going to get you all dried out here.
Killing
and
the planet.
One cigarette I'll fight you in California where there's no moisture, and I'll light a cigarette on you.
Taskmaster versus Sabretooth.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
You know how I'm going to vote.
I love Taskmaster as much as anybody else, but I got to go with Sabretooth on this one.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Taskmaster, there's only so much you can copy and be that good of a mercenary until, like, mutant powers come into effect where you're...
Yeah, you can't copy healing ability. You can't copy adamantium fingernails.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Steve?
I agree, yeah. I feel like as much as I think Taskmaster would be a good setup villain for him, or a good match for him, I think that Sabretooth takes the win.
All right. Okay, we're almost there out of the Sweet 16. All right,
are we getting to the Sweet 16? I think we're getting there.
There.
Slowly but surely.
So
this will go faster, I promise.
DC, we got Captain Cold versus Sinestro.
Sinestro.
Yeah.
Sinestro.
I just power ring. I don't care. Like if I had a power ring, I mean, I'd be the laziest son of a bitch ever if I had a power ring. I'd just be sitting on the couch,
drinks,
and whoop, you see like the be a ray of light go around into the kitchen, grab something, come back. It would just be so bad. It'd be
I
so
used
bad.
my willpower to get that.
Yeah, I use the power of fear to grab that beer. That'd be my tagline.
So get over here, beer.
I'm going to inspire fear in you because I'm about to drink you.
All right, Kitty Pryde versus Ghost Rider.
See, I'm torn about that one.
That's a tough
I don't
one.
know what she would do if she tried phasing through him. What would she be phasing through? Just hellfire and
Fire
like leather?
and stuff, yeah.
But what if it was Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider and Ellen Page as Kitty Pryde? That was what I was going to ask you.
I think they would make an Oscar-worthy movie together.
That's a tough one.
I want to see them as like father-daughter going across country though, as like Daddy Ghost Rider and daughter Kitty Pryde. Yeah. But his power set though, I don't know what she could do to really mess him up though. Because he's kind of mystical. Like, what are you going to do to Hellfire?
Right. And like, he could penance stare her, but I really don't think she's done that much stuff that's bad.
No. I mean, she took that dragon away from its family.
Yeah.
I don't even know where Lockheed came from, honestly.
He can't really hit her with the whip. He can't really hit her with the bike.
That's going to be a draw. That would, like...
Wow.
I don't know.
I feel like her powers are more defensive, whereas his are more offensive. So
Yeah.
I'm giving him the edge just on that alone. But it really is. It's like, how do you hit somebody that can just phase out?
But he probably exists on a different level as well. So he'd be like, "Oh, you're going to phase out of this reality. I'm going to make sure that you go into hell."
Well, I feel like she would like. I mean, there's got to be times when Kitty Pryde has gotten caught off guard. Mm-hmm. She can't be phasing 100% of the time, just like Vision. So I feel like Ghost Rider probably would catch her at least once, but I don't see where she would really catch Ghost Rider. Because even if she was like, she landed like a solid kick or something because she popped out of the ground, Ghost Rider, you're on fire.
I would like to see her do that thing where she phases him halfway into the ground just to see him get mad and to see him work his way out of it and just like liquefy the ground out, like around him and just walk away. Be like, I'm done with you.
All right, so we're going to go with Ghost Rider.
Okay.
All right, and then, Bane versus Harley Quinn. I don't know, man. I think that mallet hit him good enough.
It hits him in the venom injector and then he's done. I don't know. Like she's crazy, but Bane, when he's focused, you can't really stop him. I mean, he broke Batman's back, for goodness sake. What do you think growing a spandex suit with a hammer is going to do to him?
Probably nothing. What do you think, Steve?
Like,
so
fall in love with him and break his heart? Like, what's going to happen?
I feel like Harley gets the win, but this is one of those things where I sort of feel like I'm picking a favorite, not because of specific skills, but because I'm still in denial that Batman had his back broken 22 years ago. So I'm gonna give it to Harley just because I still don't think Bane is that great of a character. I don't think he should have taken Batman down. So I'm giving Harley the win by default.
Arguably, that's a good argument. I agree with you on that. Like, I don't see why Bane got to take him out.
Well, he wore him down. He used his smarts and let all the crazy guys out at the crazy place, which is what you'd call Arkham. Is why I just call it Crazy Place.
Crazy Place.
And so Batman
more
had
catchy.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, watch out, guys! You're going to go to Crazy Place.
Do you think Harley would work the Joker angle? Because she usually always does whenever they fight, and somehow he gets pulled back into it.
See, I don't know. I just think on her own, she would also play dirty and trick him into doing something. And he's like every big boss in a video game where you just get him run to a wall 3 times is probably what would happen, and he'd be down for a little bit. So I don't know. I just think from brute strength, and he's smarter than what I think they've given him credit for at times.
Yeah, they did play him up in the movies to be pretty stupid, but or not Tom Hardy.
Yeah, well, it was Tom Hardy Bane. Like,
Tom Hardy Bane.
Just give him a hug and some speech therapy. He's fine. He's fine.
He'd just be like, "Do you feel like you're in control?" Lay his hand on it. We watch that a lot at work. That specific scene.
So what do we got?
I'm gonna go with Bane just because.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean.
So Steve gave you an opinion about a fan-driven opinion. That's all this has been this entire time, and you're going to go with Bane. I'm going to go with Bane too, but I'm trying to make you feel guilty about it. You know what, though? No. You know what?
I like Harley Quinn better than Bane.
I'm going to change my vote. I'm going to go Harley Quinn because I know Mary's going to listen to this eventually, and then I sleep in the same room with her, and she's going to hit me with a mallet.
Fine. Harley it is.
There you go.
She somehow got that Venom cord out. And
Yep.
He turned into a 10-pound weakling.
And that's the thing. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
He becomes like pre-Steve Rogers. That's what happens. He just gets really early Chris Evans.
Okay. Last Marvel one here for this bracket: Bullseye versus Howard the Duck.
Sorry, Howard the Duck fan. I don't see Howard making it out of this round.
Yeah.
And just to who did Howard the Duck beat last time?
The Thing.
The Thing. Yeah.
Howard the Duck beat the Thing.
I think we were tired and we were done with this. Is what happened.
Yeah, and I think it turned into a fan favorite thing. Like it was just like
I think Bullseye. It's going to be a shooting gallery full of ducks.
Bullseye.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. So the Sweet 16. We've got Mr. Negative versus Omega Red. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Red here.
Yeah, because if he can get his hands on him quick enough. Adamantium tentacles.
What do you think? Red or Negative?
Red.
Red.
There you go.
And then we got Reverse Flash versus Power Girl.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I think if Reverse Flash loses, he'll just go back in time and stop it from ever happening anyway.
Yeah. He'll jump to another different part of the bracket. He'll fight Jonah Hex. He'll go all the way back. That's a tough one.
She's just a Kryptonian, right? She's just like one from a different timeline.
Yeah,
reality.
she's a different Supergirl.
Okay.
from one of the different timelines or Infinity or not. Not Infinity.
Crisis of whatever.
Yeah.
Crisis of Infinite.
Earth 2's, yeah.
Publishing runs. I don't know what it's called. Anyway. So, what do you think?
I feel like Power Girl gets it for just simply because of power. Not to make a pun, but
she can move pretty fast too. So, she
Yeah.
could probably go toe to toe with him for a bit.
Okay. And then we've got Medusa versus She-Hulk. It's a lot of hair.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with She-Hulk because she has the strength on her side.
I'm gonna agree.
She-Hulk? I agree. That's like red versus green, actually.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of red.
Yeah.
All right. So,
We're getting closer, folks.
Deathstroke and Jonah Hex. That's a good fight.
Oh,
actually.
it's a good fight.
It's a really good fight.
It's like one eye versus one eye is what that really comes down to. And we don't know. Jonah Hex might be his great grandfather. We don't know. Like, yeah, it's man, that's crazy one eye versus crazy one eye.
I feel like Deathstroke takes it just because he's.
I got to go with Deathstroke as well, just because he's a little more modern, and
I think even if he sees the mystical stuff coming, he'd probably be able to sidestep it.
Yeah. All right. And then, Kraven versus Sabretooth.
Oh, that's perfect.
They have the exact same coats.
Yeah, they do. Oh man,
you think they like went to the store and they were just like, man, I need to get a new coat, and there's only one left, and they're like,
we're gonna fight.
We're gonna fight it out. Yeah. Who's getting this coat? Who's getting this sweet fur coat?
Sabretooth is animalistic. Kraven hunts animals. I think Kraven's going to win this one.
I think he would totally get it.
I don't straight up fist fight, no, but I think he'll find a way to do it.
Yeah, I gotta side with Kraven on this one as well because, like, you're right. He is an animal, and at some point that rage will probably kick in, and Kraven will be like, "Oh, you're just like any other thing I catch."
Yeah.
So,
and he's going to make a jacket out of him.
What do you think?
I was going to go the other way, but I will agree with you guys because that actually sways me. I just think anybody who can take on Wolverine usually gets the win, but
that's true.
I see your Kraven.
We're craving some Kraven here.
Yeah. Craven that Kraven. Ooh, woo! Ghost Rider versus Bullseye. Oops, I jumped around.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we'll go Ghost Rider versus Bullseye.
Oh, that's a tough one as well.
I got I'm gonna go with Ghost Rider because Bullseye's done some messed up stuff. He gets one penance stare off on him.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that I don't care how hard you hit Ghost Rider in the head with something, it's not going to stop him.
Headshots aren't going to
stop
him.
He has a skull. Like, what's underneath that? Just more fire? Yeah. Like that's really all I think. I just think of him as just like fire in a jacket, so I don't know.
Really, I kind of don't even really think about the rest of the skeleton because you don't see it. He could just be a skull and jacket.
It could be. Yeah.
So what you think? You think Bullseye could stop Ghost Rider?
I don't think he could.
No.
Is it Colin Farrell's Bullseye?
Yeah. No. Yeah. All right.
Then I changed my answer to Ghost Rider again. Yeah.
So, all right, John Constantine versus Jonah. No? Yeah, we already Sinestro. Sorry.
Sinestro.
Oh, no, crap. You know who we missed?
Oh.
We'll go back there.
Oh, okay.
Lobo versus Zatanna. We didn't get down. I missed at the bottom.
Magic versus pure insanity.
Pure insanity.
I'm going to vote Lobo because I like him. He's just like Space Wolverine to me.
I feel like, and that's, I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to say Zatanna, but I don't have like a...
I got to say Zatanna too, just because I feel like Magic would really tie into some of the fight.
She just figure out a way to incapacitate him, be like, was this your card? And then punch him in the face or something. I don't know what she does. So, anyway.
And then he's like stuck on the card.
Yeah.
Now you're the Ace of Spades. All right. So, all right, back to where was I? Constantine versus Sinestro.
Yeah, Sinestro. Yeah.
That ring, man. I don't even really know what stops Sinestro other than green and willpower.
Well, I mean...
Poor box office. That's what stops him.
That in the 90s, it was a broken neck for a while. So.
There you go, yeah.
Well, too bad he didn't go up against Bane. And then we got Harley Quinn versus Zatanna.
Oh, that's fun. I'm still going to go with, the Master of Magic versus, the
Magician's Assistant?
Yeah.
Which, yeah. So what do you think? You think Harley could get it over on her or no?
I feel like Zatanna would take it.
All right. All
We're
right.
getting so close here.
So we are down to 1, 2, 3, 4. We are down to the Elite Eight.
Yeah. All right. Woo!
Yeah. Omega Red versus She-Hulk.
I'm going to go Omega Red.
Yeah. Well, like, he's such a powerful character. What happened to him? Did Wolverine kill him and that was it? Or what?
Did Wolverine
no,
kill
he's still kicking around.
Okay.
Well, before Secret Wars, him and Deadpool tussled, and they just kind of parted ways. Like, I can't remember how he didn't kill him or convinced him to leave. But, so, all right. Power Girl versus Deathstroke.
Oh, I think Power Girl. I think we brought someone in that was way too powerful for the whole thing because I don't know what Deathstroke would do to stop her.
Well, if you look at it from like a Batman point of view, like Batman has fought Superman. A lot of people have fought Superman. So
Does Power Girl have any sort of like kryptonite or some sort of like thing that brings her down a notch?
She's got to. If she's a Kryptonian, she's got to be like weak to kryptonite. Which, who did she fight so far? She fought Deadshot, which I really don't see him getting like any type of kryptonite over on her. And she fought Black Spider. So she's been fighting a lot of mercenaries. Wow.
That was what they would call an easy draw in NCAA.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I still think Power Girl would probably get Deathstroke over if they went hand to hand. I don't think Deathstroke would be a pushover though.
Yeah. Well, that's the point. That's the Elite Eight, So
you think he would be smart enough to bring some kryptonite to the fight, unlike Black Spider and Deadshot?
Probably, but I mean, I'm talking in terms of just like straight up. I don't think.
But remember, we also picked Howard the Duck to beat the Thing because we were like, it's a duck. So if I'm gonna go fan favorite, I like Deathstroke more than boobs. So not actual boobs, but Power Girl.
Oh, you just revealed a lot there about like I don't know who Power Girl is, but that girl that wears white is really attractive. Yeah. So all right. So what do you guys got? Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Deathstroke.
Okay, I say Power Girl.
I say Power Girl too.
Okay.
Oh, look at that!
I feel like Deathstroke would get just enough in to hurt her, but I don't think he'd take the win.
Yeah, he would probably hurt her. All right, so out. So who do we? Oh, Red. Okay, so then we got Kraven and Ghost Rider.
Oh, see, I feel like Ghost Rider at this point because Kraven's done some bad stuff, and I think that no matter what, even if you try to trap Ghost Rider, he's just gonna anchor himself out of it,
He'd hit him with that penance stare too.
And they both use don't they both? No, he doesn't. Kraven uses nets. Ghost Rider uses chains, so I think it'd be a nice chain net fight.
Well, if you hit him with a net, he just set it on fire.
That's true.
And Ghost Rider can drive away if he needs to.
Yeah,
true.
Flaming motorcycle.
Later, have fun running after me on foot. Which fur coat? Yeah, I don't know how you would really research that, like, as a fight. Like, if you were Kraven.
You just have to wait for, like, if Ghost Rider still changes back to Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch or whoever else he's been.
Oh,
wait for him to, go through his rage.
Isn't it one of Johnny Blaze's relatives now?
Something. I
It's
know
like
there
a
was
girl, Alejandra Blaze.
Yeah, something like that.
And I think she drives a car. I don't think she has a motorcycle. I think she has like a Mustang. Like
I was waiting for like a Prius or like a smart car. It's the Prius of Vengeance.
All right, so Sinestro versus Zatanna. I would say Zatanna. Only because, like, I know Sinestro has that ring, but I'm pretty sure she could probably get that ring away from him with some sleight of
Also,
hand.
do you think she's really afraid of him? I don't think she's afraid of him.
She would be like, okay, I'm gonna. She'd get a deck of cards out. She'd be like, I want you to pick a card, and he'd be like, okay. Then he'd be like, I got your ring. How did you? Oh, he'd be like, yep. And now you're a bunny.
I can't argue that logic.
Yeah,
or it would be like she would pour some milk into like a funnel of paper, like. I don't know. What are some magician tricks?
I like how each time she fights somebody, she just does a magic trick instead, and then tricks that person.
Like it puts him in a box and cuts him in half, but then actually cuts him in half.
I need a volunteer from the cosmos.
Yes,
you sir, the pinkish red sir there
with the giant head.
Giant head. Could you please step into the box?
Yeah,
No, be
Max
afraid.
Strong. If you come up here, please.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go with Zatanna. All right. So the final 4 are
Oh,
Omega Red and Ghost Rider and Power Girl and Zatanna.
holy crap. That's a tough one.
So Red versus Rider.
I'm gonna go Ghost Rider.
Me too. I think it would be a good like whip down. Like
Yeah.
there'd be chains on the adamantium tentacles. I think that would be a good fight to watch. But I would go with Ghost Rider. What do you think?
I'm going to agree with that too. Yeah.
Man, Ghost Rider, he's like the dark horse coming through this bracket. I didn't expect him to make it to the end.
I didn't either. I thought he was going to get stopped by somebody.
Like a bucket of water or something.
Who was the first? Yeah, Squirrel Girl wasn't going to stop him.
Yeah.
And then Power Girl and Zatanna.
Superman has had problems with magic in the past as a
Yeah,
Kryptonian.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. And then Zatanna will do that whole, like, where's my finger at? There you go. Like, look at that. Like,
Where's your fingers? Oh, you can't punch now. I have all of them.
Yeah. That's,
I like how we're justifying her wins by like sleight of hand tricks, like street magic.
yeah.
Look what's this behind your ear, Power Girl.
So who would win, Chris Angel or Power Girl? What?
Somehow Chris Angel beats Power Girl.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to say Zatanna again.
Yeah.
Do you think Zatanna or you think Power Girl?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, Power Girl really could just get one.
And that's
one
it.
good.
If we're really relying on the whole Kryptonian background, then yeah, magic. I mean, even a little bit of magic shows up, and Superman just can't seem to do anything.
And also, Zatanna's like a master of illusion, too, right? So she could make her see whatever she wants.
Right.
Right? So.
Yeah. All right, so this is actually a good fight. Ghost Rider versus Zatanna.
See, and this comes down to the simple magic tricks, like cutting the chain and then making it whole again. I think that would just blow Ghost Rider's mind. So I don't know. That's going to be tough.
Do you think she would pour the pitcher of water into something and it would disappear, but then it would fall on Ghost Rider and put him out?
Sure. And do you think a penance stare would work on her? Like, what has she done that's bad?
Well, I think she did have like a little bad guy run for a while, didn't she?
I don't know.
I don't think she's been like a straight shooter for like her whole career. I could be wrong.
But they're both like mystical, dark arts type of related.
This is a toughie, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Zatanna
because she'll find mystical water to put out that hellfire. Like some mystical antacid of some sort.
Do you think Zatanna would take down Ghost Rider, Steve?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at that! And she was one of the last ones that we put in the bracket because we're trying to come up with like DC heroes. So
it's that not that sleeper hit, but it's that one where you're just like, I didn't think they'd make it into the finals, and then all of a sudden they go on to win it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
So that took exactly 1 hour of recording time total to determine that Zatanna was the best ever in this bracket of Super Awesome.
Oh, just for this?
Over the 2 episodes.
Oh, over the 2. I was like, I feel bad now. I was like, oh my gosh, we can't do any more brackets.
Yeah. So next week we'll do 126 people. We'll do all the Ninja Turtles villains.
Just give us more. We'll do Captain Mal's coat from Firefly versus.
Yeah, we'll just do all the different weapons from movies and see what would happen.
We'll just keep
Harrison Ford's gun
things.
and Blade Runner versus Harrison Ford's whip and Indiana Jones. No, we won't do that. That would be fun though. Anyway, so Steve, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank
for
you for
our very long bracket that we had, but we had to finish it because we started it. But again, check out the Saturday Night Slasher for some good slasher goodness. Check out our Facebook page, Invasion of the Podcast, our Twitter, Innovating Podcast, and our Gmail at Invading Podcast. Those are all.
We have an Instagram too. Which
and Instagram,
we can.
Yeah,
I don't know quite what to do with Instagram. I think it's just photos and like, I put photos up and people are like, I like that, but then I don't know what happens after that.
Yeah. So, and Steve, is there anything else that you'd like to promote of your own other than Slasher?
There is a Facebook group for the Saturday Night Slasher as well. So if you look that up on Facebook, that'll take you to the Facebook group. We post updates during the week of different things that are going on and just stuff that we like, movies. So if you want a little extra content, check that out. I'm on Twitter, but to be perfectly honest with you, I have less than 1,000 tweets over like 7 years or something ridiculous. So, but I'm S. Lewis King on Twitter, so if you want to look me up there, and that's it.
Sweet. All right. So next week, I know we're going to do some type of wrestling show. I know I talked about wrestling.
Right. Next week is the week before WrestleMania. And in the spirit of Paul and his WWE app, we're gonna have some guests on to talk about wrestling before the big show.
And I promise everybody out there, if you're not into wrestling, the show's still going to be entertaining. Just think of it as like superheroes, but with like less capes.
Yeah.
And it's just as much drama, and more sweat. There's a lot more sweat in wrestling than there is in superheroing. So
yeah, you ever notice that they're never really sweaty after they get a fight?
No, but like wrestlers before they even show up, they're like covered in like baby oil
Right.
and sweat. I don't know. It's really maybe it's to slide in the ring easy when they first get in. I don't know what they do, but yeah, we'll have some fun with that. We'll actually have some good conversation about wrestling as opposed to who do you think will win in a fight? Hacksaw Jim Duggan or the One Man Gang? I don't know. Like
Brooklyn Brawler.
Brooklyn Brawler, yeah.
Jobbing it up.
Yeah. George the Animal Steel versus a turnbuckle. I don't know. But yeah, that'll be next week. Until then, have a safe week. Don't go out on Saturday because you don't know what's going to happen. You could be next.
Stay in and read a webcomic.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Saturday Slasher, he's going to get you.
No, he gets in their houses, doesn't he? You're not
does.
safe. None of you are safe.
No, yeah. So enjoy your week.